Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another one. It is the Authority Project, and I am Brian S. Arnold here, and I'm here with my new good friend, Lucas Mattiello, and he says he's going to help us become more confident on video. Is that right, Lucas?
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, well, we shall see. We shall see on this episode of the Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, and we are back with another one here, folks. It's the Authority Project. I am Brian S. Arnold here. You are the project. We want to slap authority to your name so you can sell more of what you are great at. And I am here with Lucas Mattiello here. How you doing, my friend?
Doing very well. Doing very good. Thank you.
Very awesome. I'm excited to jump on this because you know what? It's so funny that I didn't think this wasn't an issue. When I started doing my live streaming, like way back when, 6 years ago, I'm like, well, anybody can do this, So I didn't think this was, a big deal, but it really is something that still people, I guess it's sort of like stage fright, but more like video fright kind of thing. And it's so funny because I did a mini presentation on this about how to be more, get out of video fright, but it's still an issue. So before we get into that, before we do all of that, first of all, let's start here. Lucas, who are you personally and then professionally?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's a big question. Who am I? I think first of all, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a friend, and I'm someone who enjoys personal development and just seeing people and myself just become the best version of ourselves and share the message. And ultimately, I was actually thinking about this the other day. It's like I believe that it's our mission to help each other walk home to our journey, wherever that is. Yeah.
Great stuff. I love it.
Professionally, I have Level Up Living. I do a lot of coaching around public speaking and speaking on video, with the confidence being the essential piece there. So that's what I do professionally.
Cool. And do you have a current project you're working on at the moment?
Project? Something new. Actually, I'm relaunching a show. So I'm launching a new show called Speak with Confidence, which lines up with what I do.
Hey, yes.
That's the thing. It's been a journey. I've had different names, and they were just all a little bit out of alignment. And this one I feel really good on. So I'm happy to do it.
Great, awesome. And one last question before we dive in, Lucas, what is your daily routine?
Daily routine is wake up and meditate. So I have a very, rigid schedule, but yeah, I've noticed the days that's the one factor in the morning. It's how I start my day. It sets the pace. So I have this arbitrary number of 24 minutes. I wake up, I have my bolster, wake up, use the bathroom, drink some water, 24-minute meditation. Day starts well. If I miss it, I'm not in the same headspace.
Awesome. All right, let's get into it now. Let's get into the topic. How do we become confident on video?
Many steps. So again, we got to look at first, it's like, what are the challenges? So one thing we have to look at is the most common obstacles that I come across with clients is that they're afraid to look bad. So they're afraid to look bad. They're afraid to say the wrong thing. They're afraid to embarrass themselves because it might hurt the reputation if they look bad, if they say the wrong thing. And so I spent years coaching people to speak with confidence on stages. And now video, it's a lot of the same fundamentals, but there's one key difference. And that is, if you mess up on a stage, the talk's over, you walk away, most people forget about it. But with video, it's that threat. It's that fear of lasting out there, that is my mistake going to stay out there forever? And so that's the thing we got to look at is those are the obstacles. How we do it is, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to build this up, and I'm happy to dig deeper into that.
Great. So I think you just hit my second question about what makes us scared of video. Shouldn't there be less, concern with the advent of live streaming, where people are supposed to be looking forward to being their imperfect self, being more realistic and being real? I mean, you see it on TV all the time where people make mistakes all the time and things happen, a dog barks, on live TV, and it should be part of the way things are now. But
Right.
Why do people still get concerned about the feedback, concerned about, you can't edit this out, or just the embarrassment factor?
Brian, there's a few things. There's a lot of factors. So again, first, let's address from a very logical. If we strip away all the emotion and the meaning, then yeah, you take out your phone. It's live. It's expected to be a bit rough. Let's just go with it, have fun with it, and you have all the tools. I always tell when I'm doing a presentation, I go, look, if you have this, so you have a phone, you have a voice, so you have the ability to speak, and you have a message, you have the required tools to put yourself on a video.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're missing the tools, but what's happening is it's the inner game. So why is the fear coming up? Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, because those same things that you brought up that can make live charming, the imperfections, that can be seen as a threat. It's a threat to your reputation. It's a threat to your livelihood. It's a threat to even your own ego of how you see yourself. The inner critic is very, very, that is very important to look at. It's a major obstacle. It's how ruthless are you when you watch your own videos? And that just gets magnified, because then what happens is you project that, and let's say that you get 100, 1,000, 10,000 views, the person gets into the mindset that there's 10,000 people criticizing them like they criticize their own videos. And that is a very scary prospect. So most people avoid it.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that, because I'm a guy who I don't really like to go back and watch my own videos. I mean, I'm just like, because I'm a perfectionist, and if I look out there, I mean, sometimes I still do it, obviously, but most of the times I think that over the years, I just feel like if I do that, I'm gonna be like banging my head on something on one mistake when everything else is good, but I had that one mistake.
Right.
Do you ever like, do you think that it's still important for people to watch their videos after they've done it?
Absolutely. Now I like to bring a lot of parallels into sports. You look at, let's just say basketball, for example, Kobe, Michael Jordan, they obsess about breaking down their film because they're going, how can I do better? How can I avoid making those mistakes? But that's the difference in mindset of someone who's on that path to be a leader, that wants to be a champion, who wants to be one of the best. They're watching that film going, okay, how can I improve? Because they know that they're already making mistakes, versus where most people are is they're tearing themselves apart. So that becomes a very scary prospect. And, that's a lot of times people say, oh, well, video is just easy. Just do it a lot and you'll get good. It's like, yeah, for some people that's going to work. It really will. But for a lot of people, they're going to watch your videos. They're going to criticize the hell out of themselves. And then they're not going to want to do more videos. So even with my clients, if this is anyone's watching that wants to get started, this is like the foundation. This is week one when I work with clients. I have them flip it upside down, where on their first videos, I go, okay, list out what you did well. Let's start with that. Because the way our minds work is we're going to automatically tear apart all the mistakes that we made. So we want to flip it upside down, go, okay, what did I do well? Stack those, and then look at what can I refine or improve for next time. That's the shift you need to make.
Awesome. I think in my case, I think I already know what those mistakes are. So I don't want to amplify it by looking at, it's like, I already know it's like that's a mistake. And I already kind of mentally, but that's me. But I get your point there. So let me ask you this, because this is a no response to you. Say somebody, but like, I know I need to get out there, Lucas. I really want to do video, but I don't know what to say, Lucas. I get out there. What am I supposed to say? That's my problem. What do you say to that when you get that response?
That's funny that I get that all the time. I don't know what to say. So week one is compassion. Week two is topics, because so here's the thing. You gotta, there's a couple frame changes that we need to take on? As here, so this, I mean, this whole, this is the authority. It's about being the authority in your industry.
Yeah.
So we have to look at that. We have to take on the expert role. Like, okay, so you're an expert. But if you list out what are the questions that you're asked every single day, and I even just a quick tip sheet for the viewers here is just list out what are the top problems your clients are having. So this actually, we got to zoom out even more, is that you're only speaking, your videos are only to your ideal clients. You want to make it simple, just because people get so sidetracked. They're like, oh, I've all these people on Facebook and all these other platforms. Well, what if they're not going to connect with my message? It's like, yeah, if they're not your potential clients, they won't. So first, you're only speaking to your ideal clients, but then list out what are the top frustrations, challenges they're having. What are the top goals that they want to achieve? What are the top questions that you're always asked, your frequently asked questions? What are questions that your ideal clients should ask you? What are client success stories? What are client obstacles? How have you helped your clients? Personal videos. What have you seen change in the industry? You want to be the authority. Those are 6 categories of video topics. And this is what I tell my clients. I go, look, do 10 video ideas for each of those. Problems, challenges, goals, you should ask questions, frequently asked questions. That's 60 topics. You do 1 video a week, now that's over a year. That's over a year's worth of content ideas. So topic issues and what you'd say is never the issue. Just get clear that it's you and you're speaking to your ideal client, and that is it. Add value.
Got you. And I think that's why they're scared, because maybe they haven't identified. It's going back to the number one question that kills us. What do I do? So I don't know what to say, because I don't know what I do really yet. Do you go into that in the beginning of, with the foundation of what, where are you driven from the heart to really speak on, and how do you start there? How do you work that out with your clients?
Absolutely. It's a great point that you raised, because otherwise, like, what are we aiming at? And a big fear that comes up is, I don't want to just add more noise to a very noisy world. Great, I get that. Yes. So again, bring it back to getting clear. You have a very specific audience, right? You have a very specific ideal client. You have a very specific solution to them. I look at it, it's perhaps an oversimplification, but really it's your clients are here. They're struggling. They haven't got to get here. This is the goal where they want to get to. You know how to get them there. All you're doing is saying, hey, are you here? This is what you want. You just need to get them on that path. And it's just, if you want to make it very simple, it's like, hey, are you struggling here? Describe the scenario. You want to get here. This is a step that's going to help you move towards it. And that's your video. It's simple. We don't have to complicate it.
I love it. That's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
So what about the guys who are like, Lucas, I just want to go viral once, once in my life. I just want to go viral one time, please.
Yeah.
And if I do that, then I'll be all set. That's all I got to do, right?
The viral thing, actually, I'm putting out a video next week, which is why low views don't matter. And it's that people get discouraged with it, because here's the thing, Brian. We're in a world where everyone talks about viral videos. Oh my God, I got millions of views. But here's the thing. You, like, as entrepreneurs, you don't get paid on views. You get paid on selling your product or service. But the challenge is YouTubers. We're hearing all this stuff about YouTubers and all these things. These are media companies. They get paid on views. They're not selling their product or service. So they need millions of views to make money. As an entrepreneur, if you only get 50 views on a video, a lot of people would look at that and say, that's a failure. Now, but those are 50 potential clients. If you target them, that's 50 clients that you're getting in front of, that you're building trust, that one, know who you are, that you're building trust, and that you're moving them down the line to sell it. So you got to flip the mindset with that. Is, yeah, viral is nice, but I have clients that are video marketers. They cannot promise to help you go viral. They can't promise that.
No.
So they can stack the odds, but you got to get in the game. And in the viral, it's like, why are you doing it? Is it ego? You want to have a viral video? Who cares? I'd rather sell products and service, because that's how you change people's lives, not the views.
I love it. So on that, segueing on to this next question then, what if people have done this? They've gone live, You know, they've heard all the noise about, you know, you got to go live, you know, and they do it and they get discouraged because all they get is crickets, or it seems like like every time it's like no one's listening, no one's hearing me.
Mhm.
How do you go about getting them back on track with that sentiment?
You know, you got to look at again. We're in a very instant gratification world here. People look at
Yeah.
you know, people look at someone like Joe Rogan, you know,
Yeah.
one of the most popular podcasts out there. Like Joe Rogan's been doing it for like, I don't know, 10, 13 years, something like that. You got, it's in the dark when you're there and you're doing it. When I remember when I started doing YouTube videos, there was times where when I was beginning, I was thinking, have I lost my mind? Like, is this what I'm there talking to this camera, to this make-believe audience that I'm doing it? But in my experience, that's where you actually earn it. Is can you persevere and continue? But the other thing you got to be honest with is a lot of people are looking for a reason to be talked out of their dreams because they're afraid. So they're going to look at the no engagement or the low view count, and they're going to go, oh, well, this is evidence I'm not good enough. My mom was right. My friend was right. My partner was right. I'm wasting my time. It's like, hey, if you're looking, I'll tell you honestly, if you're looking for a reason to give up, you'll find it easily. But it's, can you connect with your dream, and do you actually believe that you're good enough? You come from that place, just keep moving forward. You're building a skill. That's like going to the gym, right? If people want to get a better physical shape, you don't go to the gym for a week and then you're ripped. You gotta keep going at it.
Right.
So it's the same principle. It's the same principle.
So video, what mediums do you feel are best to start with video?
I mean, I like the social platforms. I think it's just easy. It's easy. You have a mix. It's a warm network of people that know you, who have that rapport, and maybe it's not the best to sell directly. I mean, you can definitely get sales from it. I think a lot of times on a Facebook, on a personal, it is more of, hey, I'm just connecting. I want to stay in touch with people. But you can do referral videos. You can still put yourself out there. Like, I had a client last week who was like, I'm not comfortable doing videos to my Facebook. I feel conflicted because I don't want to just keep selling them. I'm like, these are my family friends and people I grew up with. Like,
Right.
sure, I get that. But
Right.
two things you don't know. One, how many people need your service? And two, who do they know? So in the end of the day, this, you know, being authority, this is all about exposure. Get your name out there, because maybe you're not selling to them, but you're still going to be able to get referrals. So definitely social media is easy, fastest way to start.
Okay, so a couple of things now. Let's talk about how often when you start, how often should you go about it? Is it like you said before, once a week, or daily, or 3 times a week, two times a week? What do you think?
Whatever's easiest for you. That's my honest answer. Is what you choose the number. You choose the number that you look at it and you're like, hey, I can absolutely smash that goal. Whether if it's one a week, great. If it's one every 2 weeks, great. I never push people to go on my schedule, because some people are going to they'll buy into it and do it. Like I have a friend who he also does video training. I ran into him last week, and he was telling me that he gets his clients to do 3 a day. And I'm just like, oh my God. The people that commit to it, their skills are going to just advance quickly.
Yeah.
But I think for most entrepreneurs, they're going to get overwhelmed by it. So pick a pace that's done. And the whole thing with this is really plan it. You just plan it, schedule it in there once a week. Just make it a non-negotiable. It's Monday morning at 9 a.m. Great. You do your live. Cool. You got it. Just have that commitment. This is about, you got to be boxed into it. Put that commitment down. So once a week is my personal choice to get started. I think that's a very sustainable. If you want to do 2 a week, great. But make it easy on yourself. It's hard enough.
So I assume, I think we're both on the same page. We're talking about, with video, what we're really talking about live streaming. Now, what about the advent of just regular doing the video and then trying to make it really professional and pretty, editing and so forth? You know, do you suggest that from the beginning or later? You know, we're talking about YouTube, you know, the promises of YouTube money and all that kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where do you think we should go from there?
You know, the YouTube money. I've turned off all ads on my YouTube. And I'll qualify this. In no way am I a YouTube expert. Okay, so take it for what it's worth. But the AdSense revenue of a couple bucks a month, or even $100 a month, to then put my ads and potentially piss off my viewers, because again, my goal is very clear. I want to sell my coaching services. That's it. I want you to sign up for my course. So the promise of monetizing YouTube, it's, again, if I'm a media company, I'm a YouTuber, I don't have a course, I don't have a program to sell, yeah, let's go. Let's get as much as I can. But in terms of the YouTube and the editing, I'm a fan of getting started. You can always add it down the line. You can always add more things, get it done more professional for sure. But when people put that as a requirement to start, what I found is that the more steps that are needed to then put yourself out there, there's just more friction that's going to get in the way from you getting started.
Great. I got a couple more questions for you. This has been awesome so far, man. It's been great. Just loving everything here. So let me ask you this. What is your legacy impact you want to leave with the world? How do you want to change the world when it's all said and done?
Well, change the world when it's all said and done. Like, it's a question I think about a lot, actually. I think about death quite a bit, probably more than the average person. But it's not, for me, it's an equalizer. It's something you bring back to the meaning. You know, there's one big thing. So I just did TEDx talk that went live 2 weeks ago, just over 2 weeks ago. And it was called How to Speak with Confidence. But the second part is Reclaim Your Voice. And if there's one thing that I want to really leave behind, the one pattern that I constantly see, like, I don't have kids yet, but I have 2 young nieces. They are just so fully expressed. They have all this imagination, imaginary things coming up. They call this name. It's wild to see. I love it. And the one thing that I constantly see is a lot of my clients, they're 30, 40s, they're in their 50s, sometimes even the 60s. And the pattern is that during their life, they've been shut down. They haven't felt safe to speak. They're afraid of speaking up. They're afraid of sharing their message. They're definitely not they're definitely not an authority, because that requires putting yourself out there. And so what happens is I work with these clients, and the common pattern is that somewhere along the way, they lost their voice. They stopped speaking their truth. They stopped putting themselves out there. And so that's where this whole concept of reclaiming your voice, it really crystallized for me, is that people would come to me like, I need to find my voice. They would always say that. My clients, hey, you need to help me find my voice. And through, again, over 10 years of working with people, it hasn't been about them necessarily finding their voice, but it's about them reclaiming their voice. It was the voice that they had as a child, as a teenager, before they were shut down. And when we can get them to tap into that, that's where they light up, and that's where they come alive, and they really take back what they truly deserve and what they had before. So that's the one thing that, moving forward, and as legacy people, I just want people to reclaim their voice and speak their truth. That's it. They do that, the whole world changes.
Great stuff. And I have one last question for you. In the access of all of my guests, it goes something like this. There are people who are watching right now, they'll be listening later. They have similar goals, similar interests, and they want to do, some of the things that you're doing right now, Lucas, and helping people find their voice and be more confident in their speaking. I'm going to put you front and center here. And can you tell us in your own words how they can become an authority in this space?
Well, you got to put yourself out there. I mean, that's the first thing. That's the thing. It's like, if you want to be an authority in your space, there is one thing. The world has changed. We are now in the exposure era, and it's no longer about who you know. See, back in the day, it was referral groups. Get people, build your network. It's like, that's great, but it's no longer about that. It's now about who knows you. How do people get to know you? Well, you got to put yourself out there. Again, it's the whole, bring it back. It's the know, like, and trust factor. People need to know you. So that's why video is essential. If you want to be the authority, you have to be putting yourself out on video. Every single authority, every single thought leader is putting their message on a video, because it allows you to put it out there, your message out there, and do it in a way that's authentic. So allow yourself the permission to speak your truth. And purposely, you want to polarize. You want people to say yep or no. Okay, and that's a game changer. a lot of people start off with videos is they want to be liked by everyone. That's impossible. Let that go and just focus that you want to elicit either hell yes or hell no. And you do that by tapping into and being your authentic self. Speak your truth, but then that's going to allow the right people to come into you that are going to attract your business and go, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So that's the fast way to do it. And again, if there's 3 things to get started, the first one is self-compassion. So bring it back to what Brian and I were talking about this morning or at the beginning of this call. It was about 1, when you look at your videos, focus on everything that you do well, and then look at what you can improve the next time. The second is focus on commitment. Who are you committed to become? And again, there's always a gap. There's who you are right now and who you're on the path to becoming. It's those actions. You gotta close that gap by leading to the third place, which is courage. And that's about taking courageous actions. And that comes down to taking action in the face of uncertainty. You don't know if people are gonna like your video or they're not. You don't know if people are going to say nice things about you or say mean things. You don't know if you're going to say the right words or you're going to say the wrong things. Okay, you don't know. And that's where most people get stopped. But those 3 things, self-compassion, first one, be kind to yourself because you're on a very powerful journey. 2, commitment, get clear on who you're on this journey to become because that's going to allow you to keep moving forward. And 3 is take courageous actions. When you speak your truth and you share from that authentic place, not knowing how it's going to work out, but trusting that that you are actually speaking your truth, that's going to help you become the authority in your industry.
It's awesome, man. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, man. Great stuff. Tell people where they can find you after the show, Lucas.
Yeah. So you can find me on levelupliving.com. Go check it out. That's my website, or Instagram, Facebook. I'm around. Just check out my name. We'll got you
amazing. There. Great stuff, man. Awesome. This. I hope everybody got a lot out of this because I know, it's a problem still. It's a really big problem. It's like I said, same with the stage fright. It's just video fright. I'm not sure if they're one and the same. Yeah, in some cases. So just get a hold of this guy. Let him grab a hold of you and get you on camera, get you live streaming, and because it's really easier than you think. And I wish I can go over my story again, but I'm not gonna do that again. I just know that once you get started, people really want to see you. Let's put it that way. They really want to see you. They really want to know, what makes you tick, what you believe in, what you stand for, and it's interesting to people. So get out there and bring it to the world. You have so much to give. So that's me. You have any last words before we get out of here, Lucas?
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, I loved being on the show. And actually, I saw that you interviewed my buddy Jay Wong the other day. So,
yes.
I met up with him on Sunday. I was checking it out. Like,
awesome. He's awesome. He's absolutely incredible. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's all we have for right now, people. As I always say, remember. Build it, share it, and they will come. See you next time. We are out of here. Peace.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.